It started off, we lost within my squad alone, and this was the one that really did it for me. With the survivor's guilt and all the other stuff that comes with doing this job. I remember this one. We were going down this route because they would have us go in front of convoys that were delivering supplies to make sure the routes was clear so they can get all these supplies to all these different fobs, because that's how we were supplying back then. We weren't doing like airlifts or any of that stuff. So we're clearing this road, and it's all dirt roads. And at the time, we didn't have up armored vehicles or any of that shit. We had tracked vehicles, M112s, which we put sandbags at the bottom of, like it was going to stop something, right? So we're clearing these tracked vehicles. I was the number 3 vehicle out of this 4-vehicle convoy. And we're going, correction, I was number 2 vehicle clearing the in the convoy itself. So we're clearing. First vehicle goes through, no problem. My vehicle goes through, and I'm standing outside the hatch, pulling security off to the side. And then the third vehicle goes through, and I didn't hear this explosion. I just saw it. It was like a big mushroom cloud of just dirt, right? And I'm staring back at the vehicle behind me, and I look, and I can see a vehicle kind of catty corner off the road. So the convoy stops, and I'm like, okay, we're good to go. Like, IED went off, but nobody got hurt, right? Because I can see a vehicle, but what I didn't realize was that was the number 4 vehicle in the 4-vehicle convoy. So one vehicle was in front of me, I'm second vehicle. The number 3rd vehicle, the IED took it from the bottom and kind of blew it into the air and just kind of, essentially fucking disintegrate this entire vehicle. So I'm standing there, and I look up, and there's an engine block floating towards the troop hatch from vehicle number 3. So I tell the gunner, I was like, hey, like, we need to move. And as soon as we pull up, the engine block fucking drops. It's the engine block from the vehicle that just got blown up.
Man.
So at this point, like, we get out, we go through our little battle drills, we set up security, and we start looking around. We're like, yo, where the fuck is vehicle number 3? And the biggest part of that vehicle was that engine block. And at that point, like, this was April, so there was no QRF, or if there was QRF, it just took them a long fucking time to get to us.
Yeah.
To the point where we had to set up security, and then we essentially had to fucking walk around and pick up fucking body parts, right? So as I'm doing that, it starts to, like, that's when reality started to sink in. Like, holy shit, like, I'm picking up fucking body parts off my teammates, off my squad mates right now, right? Yeah. And that made it real for me. And after that incident, I didn't get scared. I just got, like, I started to turn into something that I didn't realize I was turning into as far as a fucking monster, right? Like, just at 19, like, I was starting to come unglued, right? To where the rest of the deployment, it was just savagery throughout the entire fucking area that we were in. Like, we started being extra vigilant. I'll just put it that way, extra vigilant, like, mean, just not taking shit from anybody, right?
I'm assuming nobody survived in that vehicle.
No, man. We lost 6 dudes.
Yeah.
6 dudes.
All close friends of yours.
Yeah, all part of my squad. Because I'm sure you can relate, man. Like, I got there in, like, with 2 months prior to deploying, so I didn't know those guys as well. But once we got into country, like, dude, you're living, you're breathing, you're smelling those dudes, right? You had dudes that we had one dude, like, he was always telling jokes, like, he was the humor within the squad. You eat with those dudes, like, we became fucking brothers essentially, right? Especially, like, just the bond that you develop when you're at war.
Yeah.
Like, every living, like, I spent more time with those dudes than I did with my entire family, right? Like, every living day, like, you're seeing, you're breathing, you're talking to those dudes, right?
Yeah.
And for them to just disappear just like that, and the manner that they went, to where all that's left of them are fucking chunks of meat, like, that really started to fuck with not only me, but the rest of the guys that survived. because now it came down to, holy shit, like, could I have done something different to spot that IED? But there was no way, because they had packed it from the side of the road, like underneath the road, to where there was no way to spot that.
Yeah.
Right. So that was eye-opening for me.
Sure.
Yeah.
Fuck, I can imagine. When you say you kind of evolved or turned into a monster at that point or during that deployment, when you talk about that and being extra vigilant, were you guys doing offensive engagements, or was it purely
No.
sweeping of?
Yeah, and that's what gravitating me towards special operation was, because those first two deployments, like, I felt like it was all, like, we were sitting ducks. Like, we were essentially a pawn, because in my mind, I'm like, oh, they rather us get fucking blown up instead of these convoys that'll bring in supplies. Yeah. Somebody's getting blown up if we don't find this shit. And at that point, the technology was so, in its infancy, to where it wasn't fucking working. We had old fucking mine detectors trying to find these IEDs, and I'm like, okay, so we're just being sent out there to get fucking blown up.
Yeah.
And then if we get blown up, oh well, at least the convoy can go through and deliver these fucking supplies, right? So we were very, very reactive. Yeah. It was like, yep, go out there, IED goes off, battle drills, pick up body parts, 9-line, rinse and repeat, right? So it was very, very frustrating.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Shit, I can imagine the instances like that first IED that blew you guys up. Were there more of those?
Yep. So we lost 6 squad mates that day, and then consecutive months we went on to lose the company commander. We went on to lose the first sergeant. Then we lost the supply guy. Then we lost the mechanics. I think we lost 11 dudes total.
Was it all IEDs?
All IEDs. All IEDs.
Were there ever instances on that deployment where the IED was the initiation of an ambush, or was it just static IEDs and
it was
ghosts?
So it was just static IEDs for us, because at that point, like I said, our main job was just clearing.
Yeah.
So they would wait until, like, they saw us coming, blow it up, and then run. Yeah.
Yeah, I can imagine. I mean, at 19, being fodder, essentially, that's got to. Yeah, I can't even imagine the head fuckery that goes on with that.
Yeah.
So you come home from that 12-month deployment. How long were you back before you deployed again back?
All right. So I get home from that deployment, and I think it's important that I mention this, because from that deployment alone, like, I was a fucking menace. Like, I took everything that had happened to me in Iraq and I brought it back to the States.